right, guys, welcome to section 3 of chapter 2. And in this section, we're going to talk about product-based businesses versus service-based businesses. Okay, so product industries or service industries. Okay, there's a lot of different types of businesses that you can start. Some are going to be one or the other. Some are going to be combined. So let's talk about this and kind of dig into what the differences are between product and service-based businesses, and then we can get into some examples. So let's jump right in. So a service-based business, okay, if you're going to do a service-based business, the pros of this type of business are one, low setup costs, okay, and you're performing a service for somebody, okay. A property management company, we are providing a service for a bank or a business or an investor that owns multiple properties. We are servicing them. We don't own them. We just provide a service for them. So for that, setup costs are very low. A lot of times you can run service-based businesses out of a small office or a small home with a very small staff, if you do have one. Because of this, you can accelerate the time it takes to get the business up and running, okay? So you don't have to build a big building. You don't have to build an entire restaurant in order to get this business started. You can become a service-based business very fast. Social media marketing agencies, they can start very, very fast. As soon as they have an ad and a website, or they don't even need a website, just effective ads and funnels, they can start selling their services and fulfilling those services from home. A lot of social media marketing agencies are fulfilling their services from home, and then they have remote agents or designers and stuff that work remotely in the Philippines and India and all these different countries, right? So service-based allows you to do that. There's a huge variety of different types of work that you can do as a service-based business. And with that, many potential clients, you're not tied to a specific demographic or a specific location. So in service-based businesses, a lot of times your customer base is huge, or it can be the world. We created this fitness business with Diamond, and our customer base is the whole world. I mean, we don't discriminate. Anybody can buy his app and have it on their smartphone. Anybody can purchase his systems, his ebooks online as well. And we're not tied down to only selling to people here in our immediate vicinity. So many potential clients and customers, well-known business models that are easy to research. Okay, a lot of times service-based businesses, you can learn how to provide these services all online through educational courses like this one. Normally, you're already catering to an existing market. You're not trying to create a whole new market in most cases with service-based businesses. When you need to make adjustments in your business, a lot of times they're pretty easy, because a lot of times those adjustments are made on software or little things here and there, and you're not having to rebuild a building or remodel and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that. The downsides of owning a service-based business, client management can be labor intensive. It all depends on how you set things up. There are service-based businesses that are franchises that give you very good processes, so the client management can be a lot easier. Another con is peaks and valleys in cash flow in service-based businesses. And I don't know if this is true with every service-based business, because a lot of service-based businesses, you don't really have peaks and valleys. You kind of just steadily grow. If it's a healthy service, you steadily grow. Time-based billing, it can be expensive to scale, requires making a lot of proposals, all of which are true, guys. So again, there's kind of a give and take. You could have a burger shop, you sell a burger, they buy it, they go, right? Easy. Or you can provide a service to that burger shop and do all of their billing, right? So there's two different types of businesses in the same industry, okay? Customization, more often expected by clients. So a lot of times in service-based businesses, since technology is always growing so fast at a rapid pace, you have to keep up, and your clients are going to expect you to keep up, because very soon another party's going to come and they're going to look bigger, bigger and better, more efficient, more cost efficient as well. And they're going to jump ship and go to that one because they like that one better. Okay, so you have to keep up. With an app on the App Store, we have to keep up. Okay, and I'll explain how to do that here in this course as well. Examples of these types of companies, and again, some of these companies can be both, but these are examples of some that are primarily service-based companies. You got property management companies, you got general contractor, okay? a general contractor to come build a house, but he'll hire all the subs and let the subs do the work. So he's providing a service, being that person that coordinates subs. Pest control, life coach, therapist, lead generator. There are a lot of lead generator services online, lead aggregator sites. I love these businesses because they'll start a website and all they do is provide leads. Okay, and actually, let me show you an example of this. Okay, here's a lead aggregator site that makes good money. When I was in the property management world, and I remember paying these guys, and I always said, man, I wish I had a business like this. Okay, so take a look at this business. Okay, so I'm in the property management world, and these guys provided me a service. They would get leads for me. Okay, so someone will come in here, or an investor will come in here and say, hey, I own a home or a condo and I need to rent it out, but I want somebody else to do it for me, right? So I'm going to enter my zip code in here. Now this company, All Property Management, this website, they are not a property management company. They are a service-based company. They provide leads for property management companies. So all they do is they get all these people online, right? They're searching for a property management company. You pull up their website, and now they attach 4 different companies, 1, 2, 3, 4, that are going to give you a quote. But guess what? This business is such where they provide this lead to you as a service, as a property management company, but they make money because if you're a property management company that's advertising on their website or their lead aggregator site, you have to pay them for every lead that they send you, whether or not you win that lead. Okay. And there were times when I was spending $75 to get a lead that there's no guarantee that I would win it. Right. But what they do is they take all 4 of these property management companies and they'll charge 75 to this one, 75 to this one, 75 to this one, 75 to this one. As soon as a lead would come in, they would automatically make, almost $400, right? $350, $400 from doing nothing really other than having a top spot in Google, where if people searched for property management companies in my city, their website would pop up first, and then they would be the one that would send all these leads. And you guys are going to see this everywhere now. 1-800-lawyers, 1-800-doctors, 1-800, pet walkers, any of that kind of stuff. There are a lot of businesses that are lead aggregators. They provide a service for companies. But the benefit of owning a service-based company like this is that I can create this once and continue to update my software. And then when people come, right, this is automated and it works by itself, and it's making $400 or $500 every time someone puts in their information. Whether or not any of these property management companies actually get the lead or get the business, it doesn't matter. And for me as the business owner, right, I love this service because I would pay $75 all day for the chance for me to win, a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 contract, because when I add up all the money that I would make from this potential person, potential client, I would make a lot more than $75. So sometimes it'd take me, $1,000 or, 4, 5, 6, 7 leads for me to get 1 or 2 really good clients that'll come on and that we can, that would hire us to provide them with property management services. And that would be worth it for me. Okay. So again, just an example, guys, of a service-based business that's a really good business model because, again, they don't have to do much. Not all service-based businesses are like this lead generator one, but call centers, okay? Call centers, people will hire call centers. I own a call center in the Philippines, and now I own one in American Samoa as well. Big businesses will hire us, and lease our employees to act as their employees, and we will provide them a service by providing them lower cost labor compared to what they're paying right now. If I have a company in the United States paying $15 to $20 an hour for an employee to work in their call center, I can say, no, let us provide that service. You will just pay us $12 to $15 an hour out the door, right? And don't worry about any of the overhead. We'll cover all of that, but we'll have an employee for you working remotely that can make your calls, do your customer service, any of that kind of stuff, okay? And we've all witnessed this, guys. We've all experienced these types of service-based businesses, guys. When you call any call center, I almost guarantee you that half of the time you're talking to somebody in the Philippines or in India or in the Dominican Republic or in Mexico or American Samoa. They're everywhere, guys. But it's a benefit to these businesses to provide that service because we're giving them a lower cost solution to what they're paying a lot of money to do right now. And sometimes we're providing better service than what it is that they can get here in their local area. Okay, so website, graphic designer. There are a lot of companies right now out there that can do this remotely. Drop shipping, again, a lot of companies that can do this remotely. So that is service-based businesses, okay? Now let's get into product-based businesses. So a product-based business, okay, you have an actual product. Most of the time it's a physical, tangible product that you're selling, okay? Now there's pros and cons to these types of businesses as well. I prefer service-based businesses over product-based businesses just because in a product-based business, there's a lot more logistics that happen. But at the same time, there are certain product-based businesses right now that have options to turn it into a service-based business, and we'll talk about that. But the pros, the ability to scale, especially electronic products, the ability to scale and start selling all of these products, is huge in a product-based business. More predictable revenue trends. Again, these are all just on average, right? But you can have these benefits in a service-based business as well. Possible lower labor overhead, sell at a lower price than services that can be sold at a greater volume, right? So I can sell a whole pallet of 1,000 socks, probably faster than someone can sell a sock service to take your socks and sell you another one, So there's a lot of different things that can happen here. But again, product-based businesses, there is a huge benefit to it as well. If you're okay with the logistics and with the margins, you can make this into a huge business. Can be a side hustle because of time freedom. Sometimes it's easier just to sell a product on the side. Easier to step away from as you aren't the product, okay? A lot of times in service-based businesses, you are the service. So sometimes people only want you. But in a product-based business, a lot of times they care less about you and all they care about is the makeup or the donut or the hamburger that you're selling. And they don't really care about the person as long as they're getting the product. So it's easier to step away and have other people do it sometimes if the service-based option of that business requires your physical presence. Drop shipping is an option as well. Market is prime for Amazon sellers and drop shippers, okay? So Amazon, you can sell on Amazon and house all your product yourself, right? Or you can turn that into a service-based business where you just become the middleman and start drop shipping, okay? The cons of a product-based business, okay? There are obviously a lot more upfront costs, okay, to build a restaurant. A lot of times you're looking at the least $500,000 or more, unless you're doing a little dinky shop for shave ice or something like that, very simple. Inventory costs, okay, to be able to hold inventory, especially food, right? There's a lot of waste, refrigeration. So there's a lot of that, guys. Fulfillment issues, if people aren't getting their product on time, if they're getting the product and it's damaged, and you got to pay for refunds, you got to pay for returns, you got to pay for a lot of that stuff, bad reviews because of that, bad products, right? You may be sourcing a product out of China or out of any country for that matter, and all of a sudden they start selling an inferior product for you because you don't see what's happening, and you end up getting a worse product, a really bad product than what you're really paying for. Examples of these types of companies: apparel companies, bakeries, jewelry stores, a video game store, supplement companies, gyms, recreation facilities, a tire store, a salon, a gun store. So a lot of these things, guys, they're great businesses, but you have to really think about it and decide whether or not you're okay with all of the logistics that come along with these service versus product-based companies. And again, service-based, normally less logistics. Product-based, normally a lot more. There's a reason why a lot of software companies nowadays, guys, are making a ton of money. The valuations of a lot of these software companies are crazy, right? With a product-based business, it's easy to quantify or to evaluate a product-based business off of their sales and their solid numbers. In a software-based business or service-based business, a lot of times they're valued at such a higher rate than normally a product-based business is, because the potential growth is so much quicker and it's harder to tell, how big or something can blow up once they get their advertising figured out. There was a company here in Utah, again, software-based company, and I remember that they went on the market a few years ago, and the owner of that company wanted to evaluate it at $2 billion, and so he goes on the market, and it was a frenzy, and all these different private equity firms were coming in evaluating it even higher. He ended up selling his business for around $8 billion, and he was hoping to get 2 billion from it. So it's crazy, guys. So just think about that. Think about the day and age that we live right now. Things are pretty crazy. So you got to be able to be ready. You got to be ready when you're deciding what it is that you want to do. Take into consideration all of the product development costs. You can't just go create and patent an item and all of a sudden you're good to go. A lot of times the cost of even just patent an item are up in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most people won't tell you this. I'm telling you this right now because I've been through that whole process. I tried to patent a product to serve or to sell as a product-based business, and after spending tens of thousands of dollars, and we weren't even close to to the end of creating the product, I decided that, you know what, it's too much because we're not even close to selling this thing, and I'm still spending tens of thousands of dollars to make this thing happen. So that's when I switched more to go to product-based business or service-based businesses rather than trying to build a product-based business. So now when choosing between a product and a service-based business model, decide what you're willing to live with after you clearly understand the pros and cons. Don't take everything at face value. You often can mold, product-based businesses into service-based businesses, or the other way around. In every industry right now, I mean, there's really a few sides to it, and you can take advantage of a lot of different things. Just like in the gold rush, right? Gold rush came, there was a lot of opportunity to go in and find gold and sell that product. There was an even bigger business in some ways to sell shovels and picks and wheelbarrows and that kind of stuff, right? And then there was an even bigger business in providing housing for these people that are coming to the gold rush. And another big business to do, there's always a lot of opportunities, right? If you're a massage therapist, there's probably a lot of people that are paying a lot for massages, for a lot of these guys that are making, and girls that are making a lot of money, there are probably people that are selling them stuff for all this gold that they were finding. So in any case, dig into it, break it all down, because there are a lot more opportunities in every opportunity than you think. So let me give you one example of something that I recently found that it was fun. I saw this and it was just a fun idea, and it's a great business, and this business is valued at quite a bit. But let me share with you. Let's say that, okay, this is you, and you wanted to start a t-shirt company. There are a lot of people that like the idea of creating t-shirts and selling t-shirts, right? So the problem is that a lot of times the margins aren't that great, right? And a lot of people, I've seen people do this. They buy these big, t-shirt print machines, and they have them in their garage. And every night they're in there printing as many shirts as they can and selling them. They're having to buy inventory to come and print more shirts, blah, blah, blah. Or you get these influencers on social media that want to sell apparel, us included. We actually have an apparel line for Diamond as well that we really haven't launched yet. So, and I found out quickly that if you're going to do your own apparel line, a lot of times you're spending, again, tens of thousands of dollars in inventory costs, in housing costs, storage costs, in fulfillment costs in order to do that, right? So, but if you do this, and this is what I'm asking you guys to do, take the time to research, okay? Because if you did your research, you would find that there are actually companies out there similar to one called Teespring, okay? Now, what this Teespring company does, okay, it allows you to start a t-shirt company, but take that company from a product-based business to a service-based business for you personally and for your business, right? Because in having a t-shirt company, you have to have You have to create the product, right? You have to design it. Okay. There's inventory costs. Okay. There's other overhead costs for fulfillment. Okay. Website to sell it. Okay. Storage costs. Okay. There's customer service costs. So again, guys, if you look at it, a t-shirt company just isn't a plain t-shirt company. Okay. There's a lot that goes into this, guys. A lot that goes into it. But what Teespring is providing as a service to you is they're going to do all of these services for you. Okay. And what that does for you now on the other end, it saves you money. Okay. And risk. Okay. So there's a lot of ways that you're going to save if you use a company like this. Now you can start a company selling t-shirts and have Teespring source all those t-shirts for you. So you store nothing, you have nothing, you make nothing, you create nothing other than maybe a logo design of what you want to have on the shirt. Okay. And if you take a look at a lot of influencers online right now, social media influencers, a lot of them use Teespring to do their apparel because they don't want to have an apparel company, but they want to make some money off of apparel. So what happens is with Teespring, okay, the customer will pay Teespring, let's say about $24 for that t-shirt. Okay. A t-shirt that they help you create design, right? And they keep an inventory for you. Okay. Now, $10 of that will go to Teespring. Okay. And now you will make $14. Okay. How about that setup, right? Now you have this t-shirt company. You didn't have to do a lot, if at all, right? And it's going to take your margins from a lot of times if you're making your own t-shirts, maybe you're making 55%, which is a good margin. But in this case, what are your margins, right? Other than the time you spent doing all of this, you know, your margins can come close to 100% margin. Okay. Because you just throw this up on your site and you're good to go. Okay, guys. So, and again, I'll go back and I'll show you this, guys. It's Teespring, right? Commerce, not complicated. Okay. Instagram checkout, YouTube merchandise, you know, creators on Teespring. So all of these things, right? You can create awesome products like this and make it, and you can sell it without having to do. I mean, look at all this new stuff that they're doing. It's crazy. Like, and now you can have this huge apparel store without you having to have an apparel store because all you're doing is you're partnering with Teespring. You guys are sharing in the profits. Teespring's benefit is that they're using your following, right, to take advantage of the amount of people that are going to be buying from you and go from there. So, and I've seen these guys popping up everywhere. And again, guys, like I said, pay attention to what's around you because I see this online. And when I see things online and I see it a lot, I go and research it. And that's how I found out about this company. And more than likely, I'll probably do a lot of my apparel with these guys now. The last apparel order that I made in a company that I needed apparel for was about $38,000 just to get the inventory. Okay, so I got the inventory now, and now I got to sell it. I got to house it. I got to pay for it. You know, Teespring, I can take all of that away. Just like in the scenario I showed you guys right here, guys, I can take all of that away and just have Teespring do it. Okay, so again, the goal is you need to be creative in your approach. Okay. Don't think just because someone makes t-shirts in their garage that, oh, I don't want to do that, so I don't want to be in the t-shirt business, or I don't want to be in the apparel business. Okay. You just have to research, guys. Do your research, find different ways, be open, question things, right? Question different businesses and say, hey, maybe this is the best way that they're doing it right now, but is there another way? Can I find another way to make this happen? Okay. And we'll go back to this example, guys. I it's the same thing that I went into when I decided to do a fitness business online. Okay. Instead of, let's compare it to a food business. Okay. So if I'm comparing these, right, I can have over here a digital product. Okay. No inventory. Okay, I can create it once and sell it as many times as I want. All the fulfillment is online. Okay. High margins. Okay. I say infinite because, some products that we sell in this online fitness business, they're literally a PDF file that I can sell over and over and over again. I really don't have inventory because I can create as many of them as I want, and I can sell thousands, and then they're still going to be there. Low overhead. Okay. Now, when I compare that to a food business, okay, now I have a physical product. Okay. I have a lot of inventory. Oops. Again, bear with me. I don't know how to spell that great. So I have to pay for packaging. Okay. I have to pay for shipping. There's a lot of waste when it comes to physical products. Okay. Limited margins that change, right? Theft and high overhead. Okay. So when we're looking at this, guys, product versus service-based businesses, guys, they're both great. But again, it just all depends on what game you want to play. All right. And now, again, and I've had both, and I still will do both. I have brick and mortar businesses, and I have online businesses. And to me, it's just like investing, guys. You got to be diversified and have things everywhere. Because heck, if the internet were to go down, or for some reason we became internet regulated all of a sudden, a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money, right? But if you had brick and mortar businesses, you'd still be good, right? So you got to stay diversified. Everything's great. Nothing isn't. So just make sure that if you're going to do something here, make sure that you just do it. Make a decision and go. If it fits the Fab Four for you, just go ahead and do it. So thanks for listening to this section, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, research, research, research. Make sure that what you're getting into is something that you understand. Like Warren Buffett said, don't ever invest in anything that you do not understand. Okay. And we'll get on to this next section, guys. See you soon.